Hey guys, I'm Thick Fizzy, and in this video, we are about to go watch FNAF. Say hi.
1 hour gap.
Anyway, let's go.
Get closer, Kason. He's not gonna bite.
Howdy guys, welcome back to another video. Today we went to the premiere of Five Nights at Freddy's, and it actually was such a blast, and I had such a good
Standing
time.
there.
And my friend DPML came in full cosplay as Springtrap, which obviously got him a lot of attention. Here's some recordings of all of the people that recognized him and got pictures with him. And nobody noticed my cosplay as Mike, but whatever, I don't care. In all seriousness, it was actually a really fun time, and we actually got some free tickets out of it, which was just mind-blowing to me, to be honest. And thank you for the Cinemark staff for actually
Emotional moment.
caught on film. Oh god. And afterwards he ended up taking up a suit, but he put on a very fancy suit and Springtrap mask, and we got some pictures of it. Copyrighted.
It wouldn't be the movies without
Old-timey watch?
No, stand on the sides of the.
So I just got back from the opening night of Five Nights at Freddy's. So I went with DPML and a few friends, and it was awesome. I actually really enjoyed the movie, and here is my full review of Five Nights at Freddy's. I just want to start this off saying that I really enjoyed the movie, and it was actually really interesting. I was really pleasantly surprised with this movie, to be honest with you. I will say that there are some parts in the movie that I really wasn't a fan of, and some parts could have been stretched out a little bit more. There are some little nitpicks that I didn't really enjoy about the movie. Something I do like about the movie is that they actually use practical props in this movie, except it just being all CGI, which you don't really see in a lot of movies nowadays. It's usually just all CGI and just not real. But with this one, they actually created a lot of the animatronics and all the set pieces and stuff, and it's just so cool. Really fun fact about the animatronics, they were actually made by the same company who made the Muppets. I just thought that was awesome. Another thing that I liked about the movie is that it had a lot more of a grounded story, which I really wasn't expecting going into this movie. For some reason, I was expecting a less grounded story and a little bit more messy, but I was pleasantly surprised and actually got a lot more of a grounded story with our main character, Mike. Another thing that I noticed about the movie is all the fun details and all the lore details that they added to this movie. And I thought that was an amazing touch. Something else I noticed in the movie is the red eyes, which I know we were all mad at in the trailers. And to be honest with you, they don't make much sense because the animatronics were made in like the 80s, which wouldn't make too much sense for if they would be red eyes, because that wouldn't make much sense for like the technology back in the day. I don't know how William Afton made their eyes like that. Anyway, I actually don't mind them. I know I'm gonna get like comments like, oh my gosh, whatever, but they look decent. Alright, so this next part will be spoilers, so please, if you do not want to get spoiled, just skip this part, please. Like the cameos, oh my gosh, I love the cameos. I know some people, it kind of was like, oh my gosh, oh, it's a YouTuber, but I actually really enjoyed the cameos, to be honest. One of the first cameos was Matt Pat, and I just thought it was so cool, and it had his signature catchphrase, "That's just the theory," which was just icing on the cake. And to be honest, this cameo was pretty unexpected. Funny story about it, when me and DPML were watching that scene, when he first came on screen, he's like, wait, what's that voice? I can't tell what that voice is. He looked down for a second. I was freaking out like, oh my gosh, it's Matt Pat, it's Matt Pat. And he looks up like, what? The whole crowd was just freaking out like, oh my gosh, it's Matt Pat. And something I forgot to mention is the credits song at the end of the movie, which if you didn't know is the Living Tombstone Five Nights at Freddy's song. And just congrats to the Living Tombstone, that is so cool that you guys got your song in the official Five Nights at Freddy's movie, which is just so iconic to the fans. And I'm not lying, when me and my friends' jaws dropped when we heard that song. Second cameo was Corey Kenshin, which I haven't watched much of his content, but I'm still somewhat of a fan of him. And it was just so cool to see him in the movie. And we already kind of knew from the trailer that he was going to be in the movie, but it was still kind of cool to see him. And especially in the post-credit scene when he got scared from Balloon Boy, that was also just awesome. And I gotta say, one of my favorite scenes in this movie is the spring lock scene. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, at the end of the movie, when all the animatronics realize that William Afton killed them, Springlock suit starts to malfunction and starts stabbing him, and all the Springlocks start smashing him, which is a big part of the lore in the FNAF storyline. Yeah, it was such a gruesome and surprisingly gory scene for a PG-13 movie, and something I really was not expecting in the movie. And in my personal opinion, I thought it could have been stretched out a little bit more, and it was a little bit quick, but it was still a really fun scene to see in the movie. The thing that I liked about the Springlock scene is how he pretty much just accepted his fate, and he put on the mask, and he even said his iconic line, "I always come back," and he just puts it on and dies. And it was just such a cool scene. Even at the end, where he's kind of like shaking, and he's just getting used to the Springlock suit, like, that was also kind of a cool touch. And my final spoiler thing is the plot twist. I was actually generally surprised, and both of my friends were surprised too. We were both looking around like we were not expecting the twist. It was generally surprising. But yeah, I generally was not expecting Vanessa to be the daughter of William Afton. That was generally surprising. The thing that I didn't really like about the movie was the cupcake. And it's not the design, and it's not anything like that. The grudge I have with it is how many fight scenes this thing has. I wasn't expecting going in it having so many. I was expecting more of the other animatronics having some scenes, but no, it's like mostly the cupcake fighting these guys. And I was like, okay, calm down, Cupcake. You could give some of these scenes to somebody else. Another thing I didn't like about the movie is this one scene, and if you really don't want to be spoiled, this is kind of a slight spoiler, nothing big. So anyway, there's a scene in the movie where they're all like chilling, and I wasn't expecting a scene like that. I wasn't expecting a scene where they're all just like walking around, not fighting each other. They're just like walking around being friendly. And I'm like, huh? That shouldn't be in this movie. They're supposed to be punching each other in the face. Like, one of the cool details I liked was while the old VHS video is playing, it starts to glitch. And while it's glitching, you could see a moment of the Easter egg where it says like, "It's me." I was like, oh, it's happening. It was so cool. Something that I liked at the beginning of the movie was the intro of the movie, which was awesome. It was like a reference to the minigame in one of the FNAF games. I just thought that was awesome, and it was a really nice touch. It literally looks like spot on to that, and I thought that was kind of a cool way to start the movie. See, because it's a horror movie, I gotta explain some of the jump scares. And I gotta say, they weren't actually that bad. One of them actually got me, if you're curious. It was the cupcake scene where it jumps on his face. I was expecting it, but it actually just caught me off guard for some reason. And a lot of the people that I was with kind of jumped first. I'm like, whoa. But yeah, I gotta be honest, none of them really, except that one, they didn't really get me. Like, you were just building a lot of tension, building, and then just like nothing. And I'm like, okay, that was just really random. And it felt like they were just building to another jump scare that didn't really happen, or wasn't even that big. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't that scary of a movie. Going in expecting a lot scarier of a movie, it wasn't even that bad. Cool detail in the movie is the Foxy like running. Like, I thought that was a cool detail where, like, in the game, if you don't know about like when Foxy's like coming for you, like, you could look at the camera and he's just like running down. And it looked kind of goofy in the movie, but to be honest, in the game it looks kind of goofy too, so it kind of works. It was really cool, especially in the opening scene where like he's chasing one of the security guards, and he like gets up to him, and it's like even the jump scare was cool too. Like, even had like the original like jump scare Foxy sound effect. And coming from a casual fan of the franchise and a person who knows a good amount of the lore and the story of Five Nights at Freddy's, I think this movie is really good. And I've been a fan of this franchise for like 8 years now, and I've been waiting for a movie like this for a long time, and it's just awesome that we officially have a movie like this. It's pretty sick, to be honest with you. Now I would say if you haven't watched it already, I would definitely say it's definitely worth a watch. Definitely say it's worth a watch. And for my final rating of the movie, I'm gonna give it a good 8 out of 10. One of the last things I want to say is thank you, Scott Cawthon, for all these amazing games and now this amazing movie. And now it's time for homework. I want you to subscribe, smack that like button. I'll be... what's that noise? You guys hear that? Wait. No.